With an injury update and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Naming the best insult he received from the crowd during his time in WWE, John Cena, who is set for a pro wrestling retirement tour next year, said this to Jake's Takes. "Oh, I always remember the crowd at the Hammerstein Ballroom in ECW one night stand continuously throwing my t-shirt back at me. So I basically had to face Rob Van Dam for the WWE Championship that night, but my first match was with my own t-shirt and the ECW crowd. That's definitely a wonderful insult that I remember, and I mean, you don't realize the weight of that. Like someone saying, I don't want a free shirt with your face on it at an event where we go buy shirts." Asked about the differences between the locker rooms of WWE and AEW, Mark Henry told Mad Mac Davis, "In some capacity, the newer companies have people that don't want to be overshadowed by people that came in, and that's just backwards thinking. Hopefully, they'll get that rectified, but that starts at the top. If they don't get it together, I feel like they're not going to do as good as they can. I wish them well. I don't want them to go away because it will hurt the boys. I want the boys to have leverage, so I pray for AEW success for the simple fact that I want all these guys to realize that we're all working for each other and the companies are just who pays us. Your loyalty should be to the person that life is in your hand. So every step I take in the ring, that's who I work for. I work for the guy. That mentality needs to come back." Recalling Owen Hart's passing in a stunt gone wrong during the WWE Over the Edge event in 1999, Jim Ross was asked about Vince McMahon's decision to continue the show despite Hart's passing, saying on his Grilling JR podcast, "I don't think he had any regrets. He did what he thought was right, whether it was or it wasn't. Somebody had to make the decision, and he was sitting in that chair, the Emperor's chair, so I don't think he had any reservations at all. He may have privately, I don't know, but we never discussed it. We discussed a lot of things over the years, but that was not one of them. I think Vince simply did what he felt in his gut was the right thing to do, based on what we know about the whole scenario, and how it eventually played out. I don't know if there is a right answer. How do you? I just don't know if there's a right answer. When he was the boss, the sergeant, the general, the emperor, he was everything. You just try to support that mindset, and that's what I did. I followed his lead. It was uncomfortable at times, no doubt, but I don't know if there is a right answer to that whole situation. It was just terrible what occurred and what happened. And we had no precedent to go back and say, well, the last time this happened, we did this. There was no last time. This was the first time, the only time. So there was nothing to go back and draw from, and when you don't have that, you're just starting with a clean slate. It's easy to make a mistake or be misjudged in this case based on how things went, how it should have gone, and what the right answer was. I don't know what the right answer is, and I was as close as anybody in the company to that whole scenario. I understood what was going on and tried to think through it, but I never had the ability to come to a clear conclusion about what we should do. It was a controversial topic, to say the least, and that might be an understatement." Asked about WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H and possibly returning to the company to work under him, Kelly Kelly said this to Wrestling News. "I love Triple H. We worked together. He was great to work with. I mean, I would love to come back and work for him. He's awesome. I definitely don't think I could do full time, especially with the twins." And then I talk about wanting one more baby, so I don't know, but I would definitely come back part time. My dream is for my twins to watch me in the ring one day. It was cool. Like, I was sitting here, we were watching SummerSlam, and the twins were watching it. Like, they were like eyes locked in watching, and I was like, oh my god, wait till they're old enough to see their mom doing that and watching their mom. I'm just so excited for them to like get old enough to where they'll like really get it, you know? But seeing them, how excited they were watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is cool. Talk about having a boxing match down the line as his WWE contract is nearing expiration. Bobby Lashley told the Laboratory podcast, "I love to be able to push myself to do things that are ridiculous. I set goals for myself every day. What can I do? How far can I push myself? How much can I do? I want to run a marathon. I'm going to try to do that pretty soon. I'll do jiu-jitsu. I'm going to try and win a world championship in jiu-jitsu. I'm going to do a boxing match. We've already talked about this boxing match. I might have an opportunity to do it. I'm boxing somebody in Vegas. There is an opponent." As Ronda Rousey is working on ventures outside of WWE these days, Ringside News revealed the status of a Netflix biopic, writing after hanging up her WWE boots. Following a climactic match against Shayna Baszler at SummerSlam last year, Ronda Rousey has shifted her focus to new horizons beyond the wrestling ring. Among her latest ventures, Rousey is diving into the world of graphic novels and is also at the center of an upcoming Netflix biopic that has her fans buzzing. Earlier this year, Rousey announced she was working on a comic book titled Expecting the Unexpected, a project she's expressed significant enthusiasm about. The shift towards graphic novels marks a creative pivot for the former MMA fighter and WWE superstar, showcasing her ability to explore and conquer new realms. The excitement doesn't stop there. Rousey also revealed that Netflix approached her with a proposal for a biopic. While initial details were sparse, the latest update from Mike Johnson of PW Insider clarifies that Rousey and Netflix are currently honing the script, with the project now in its second draft. This development phase is crucial as it sets the tone and narrative structure of the biopic, aiming to capture Rousey's dynamic career and personal life. Speaking about AJ Lee making a potential return to WWE, Bayley told Sportskeeda Wrestling, "Yes, we did wrestle in 2013 for the Divas Championship, which is crazy to me. I wrestled for the Divas Championship against AJ Lee, and that was really where our friendship and bond grew. She's so cool to me. I think that because of the history and because we've stayed close throughout all these years, it's pretty nuts that we still text each other and hang out. It only makes sense. I know it's something I'm pushing for, so I hope one day we can make that come to life." Addressing a previous loss to Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's title, Tiffany Stratton said this to ring the bell. "Becky did not bury me, guys. Come on, she's the GOAT. And Becky definitely elevated me in ways that nobody else on the roster could. In that match, I came out more of a superstar than I was before No Mercy. I definitely showed everyone that Tiffy time can go, and Becky helped me get there. I honestly owe a lot to Becky. She truly made Tiffy time." Mentioning why he has decided to stay away from the Wyatt 6 faction despite being a former member of the late Bray Wyatt's group, Braun Strowman told The Ringer, "They're terrifying. There's no other way to put it. I've said this a couple of times in interviews. I'm purposely trying to stay as far away as I can right now because that part of me I work really hard to put away. There's a monster instead of this monster, and I feel him rattle his cage because there's something about them that I can feel myself wanting to be pulled. I'm fighting it. I don't want to go there. I don't want to let him back out. If they're able to pull it back out of me, I fear for myself. I fear for anything that's around me. I'm not a good person when it comes out, and I'm very good at doing bad things to people." At the Iron Ridge Fireman's Picnic, Braun Strowman could be seen singing on stage. Going over the performance of TNA's Slammiversary pay-per-view, Ringside News noted that the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that the update on Slammiversary's pay-per-view numbers is 6,500 buys on television, with an estimated total of about 21,000. This would rank among TNA's biggest numbers since the Spike TV days. Talking about the partnership between WWE, NXT, and TNA Wrestling, Shawn Michaels said this to WGN Radio. Well, look, that's obviously incredibly intriguing and interesting right now. I think we are still in the very beginning stages of that, exploring the different possibilities, and those are all things we're going to look at going forward. I'm obviously very pleased to know that these are partnerships that WWE is now open to, and I think that makes for unlimited possibilities. Now, what the specifics of all of those are as we go into the future, that'll be decided by people certainly more important than me. For me, getting to be the benefactor of having all these different talents at your utilization is very exciting for us. As we continue to explore those opportunities going forward, I think it's going to make for some pretty fantastic dream matches that are possible out there that I think a lot of people are going to want to see. Touching on the potential reason for AEW President Tony Khan teasing announcements for his promotion, Ringside News wrote that AEW continues to hype big announcements, but this could be a distraction from the company's declining weekly numbers. Attendance is dropping, and despite Tony Khan's ongoing promotions and efforts to generate interest, television viewership is also down. Tony Khan has mentioned how close the WBD deal is to being finalized. However, the Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that the deal is still not completed. This week, Khan talked about the biggest deals, plural, in AEW history, which likely refers to the media rights deal and the Australia show. He may have also been referencing the AEW All-In show in Texas in 2025. The report highlighted that some of this is to detract from the 18 to 34 weakness getting worse, and that doesn't pretend to any turnaround to live attendances and hurts the overall ratings. Dave Meltzer added that even if the 35 to 49 demographic remains steady, the 18 to 34 issue is a significant problem. AEW is no longer strong with teenagers, and it has never been strong with those over 55 who are always looking for something new. Prior to another attempt to RKO Randy Orton, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano could be seen returning to their glorious bomb roots with Bobby Roode.
Look, man, I know you're sad. I know you're down. I know you missed. You yelled for some strange reason. But I got something that's going to cheer you up. I have something that's going to cheer you up. Someone. Come on, come on. Come on. Yeah. Oh no. Bobby, no. Bobby, get out of here. You want no part of this, Bobby. Get out of here. Run away. Don't. Oh my God.
Kill him. Let's kill him. He ruined everything.
Oh no, don't. Please don't.
Yo.
Oh my God. Stupid, but glorious.
In a challenge to AEW President Tony Khan, New Japan star David Finlay said this to Tokyo Sports: "I don't think there's a wrestler who can beat me in AEW, and if there's someone who wants to try, I'm willing to challenge him. But there are only guys below me in that organization. I can think positively about a cage match with President and billionaire Tony Khan. If I win, I'll get his bank account number. AEW is a group of second-tier fighters. All the guys who have gone there are just trying to make money because it's getting tough to fight fight here. They're just going to make money. My whole family is full of professional wrestlers, so I could have chosen to fight for the organization of my choice from the beginning. What I like most is fighting strong guys and winning. I'm never worried about money, and I don't care. The New Japan ring is the place where I can fight strong guys. The global champion will grab the top spot. Recalling how he and other WWE stars were chased by authorities in Mexico after setting off dynamite in a hotel lobby, Randy Orton said this to Cody Rhodes on WWE's YouTube channel. "Federales were after me, Paul London, and Brian Kendrick, and we jumped in a taxi. Oh my god. They were quarter sticks of dynamite and you could buy it there in Tijuana. I ditched the last stick under the bus that was taking us to the venue the next day. We jumped in the taxi and we were followed the entire time by Federales. Paul London spoke a little bit of Spanish and he was like, guys, the cops are following us. He talked to the driver and he's saying, take them here. I was dying. Looking back now, he could really have been ribbing the hell out of me, but we ended up making it back." Revealing his status on commentary for the AEW All-In event in London, England, Jim Ross told High Spots, "Well, I'm getting ready to go to London for AEW. I think I'm scheduled to call the Bryan Danielson Swerve Strickland match, and that's going to be a barn burner, a slobber knocker, if you will. Both of them are hungry, both of them are great. It could be that someone will get beat like a government mule. Very likely. I think that may happen." With it believed that AEW star Ricky Starks is WWE bound, he would recently be spotted hanging out with Cody Rhodes and more at a restaurant. Regarding the situation, Ringside News previously wrote that, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, WWE is interested in signing several all-elite wrestling stars, including Ricky Starks. Johnson noted that multiple WWE sources have indicated there is certainly interest in several AEW talents whose contracts are nearing expiration or who have been off television for a while. Ricky Starks is among those mentioned, although there is no confirmation on whether WWE and Starks have engaged in discussions or how long the former AEW World Tag Team Champion's current contract with AEW has left. With it apparent that Jacob Fatu is injured following SummerSlam, more details on this were provided as Ringside News wrote that Jacob Fatu finally made his way to WWE after years of aspiring to join the Bloodline. He aligned himself with Solo Sikoa and acknowledged him as the Tribal Chief, expressing his admiration. This was a significant moment for Fatu, but an even more impactful one occurred at SummerSlam, where he was apparently injured. However, WWE's remained silent on the matter. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reported the latest on Jacob Fatu's injury. This could be complicated because Fatu and Tama Tonga won the tag team title on August 2nd prior to this injury situation. Regarding the tag team title, WWE's current stance is that any two members of the Bloodline selected by Solo Sikoa can defend them. Little has been said about Fatu, as WWE doesn't want him involved with Reigns at this stage or taking big bumps for him. With everyone required to sell big for Reigns, Fatu is being kept off screen due to his injury, but WWE isn't emphasizing the injury since Fatu is supposed to be portrayed as a monster. The report also mentioned that they are low-keying their angle. Additionally, they've kept totally quiet as to whether he's actually hurt or what the situation is, but it appears that most, if not all, of this is a work, with his absence and lack of interaction with Reigns being part of the plan. WWE seems intent on keeping details about Jacob Fatu's injury under wraps. It's likely they don't want too much attention on it. Fatu hurt himself during SummerSlam after executing a splash off the top rope, clearly showing signs of pain. He was visibly frustrated by the injury, even flinging a chair across the ringside area in anger. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.